yeah, like for me, I was going into the games not just to participate, but to get a medal and ideally the gold medal. So it was I was far away from being able to be in that shape, and yeah, that was disappointing.
Hello, my name is Dasha Kalinovska, and my first guest in interview show Bunkeren is Kristian Blummenfelt, Olympic and 3 times world champion. I'm super happy to see you here today. By the way, do you know why name is Bunkeren?
Well, I guess it's the vibes here. I guess like it's a little bit rusty. It's old, historic.
We found this location on purpose, which has this vibe of Bunkeren, because I'm from Ukraine, and I remember the first days of the war when people, because of missile attacks, go in bunkers, and this is exactly the time when people is super sincere how they communicate, what they say, they super open. So I made decision to put this concept into your show, and I hope so much that we're gonna have this open atmosphere between us during this interview.
Yeah, I think it's a good
Yes.
place to start.
So when I tried to Google you, this is what I got. So Kristian is the world record holder for 70.3 distance, set in a time 3 hours 29 minutes and 4 seconds. It was in 2018, but in 2019 you had even better time, and it was 3 hours 25 minutes 21 seconds in Ironman. So could you tell people what is Ironman? Because someone maybe don't know, and tell us when it happened firstly in your time, when you started to take part in this.
Yeah, so in triathlon we have like all like different distances from super short that takes like about 18 and 90 minutes to complete a swim, bike and run, and all the way up to the full distance Ironman, which takes typically around 7.5 hours, 8 hours if you are really good, and up to 17 hours if you are one of the last ones to finish the race. I think the first time I learned about the sport was maybe when I was like 13, 14 years old. Or I did some triathlons maybe when I was 12 years old. I had a swim coach who then used to be a triathlete and I won some national titles in triathlon. But then in the beginning it was more like in quite odd sport. Like it wasn't a typical sport that people did like as a swimming or biking or running. It was like a strange sport. And later on, I got advice by my swim coach, another swim coach as well, to try something that was outside of the pool, because I was very motivated for training. I was like having a lot of energy. I was, I would say, training quite hard, but I didn't get the results I felt I was deserving in the pool. Maybe I wasn't built for performing over 30 seconds or a minute, or as like the super short distance as you're having in the pool. So he also saw that I was running really well when we did like run sessions together with the swimmers, and also the older swimmers. So when I was like 10 years old, I was running with the ones who were like 17, 18 years old in the club. So he gave him like a list of different events. Like it was open water swimming, it was triathlon, and local triathlon was one of them back in 2008 when I was 14 years old. And still it wasn't a typical sport that a young kid was signing up for, but it was like me, another 1 or 2 juniors, and the rest was like guys in the midlife crisis. Like it was like, I think it was 32 of us in total. So a very low-key event, and that was the beginning of my triathlon journey. First, I did the shorter distance with sprint distance, and then working towards Olympic distance, which takes about 2 hours. So it's the Olympic distance that we're having in the Olympics is 1.5k of swimming, 40k on the bike, and 10k on the run. And then the races you were mentioning was the half Ironman distance, which is 1900 swim, 90k bike, and a half marathon on the run. And then we have the full distance Ironman, which is twice of that. So I did 3:29 back in 2018, and then also did the fastest Ironman time in Cozumel in 2021. So I've been doing both super flat courses where it's where you're trying to go as fast as you can, but also it's different courses. It's different. Yeah, you can have slow courses, you can have fast courses. So it's, for me, it's more important to win the championships and to beat the other athletes.
Okay, that's pretty hard sounds. In this year, I just tried first time half marathon, so for me it was pretty hard. So I can't even imagine how is this. But let's talk about your childhood. You were born in Bergen, as I understand, right? So tell us more about your childhood. How was that for you, and when exactly sport came in your life when you was kid?
Yeah, so I was growing up in Loddefjord. From early on, I was very active and had a lot of energy, and I needed, I guess, an arena to get that energy out in order to be able to sit quiet at school, or to be able to sit down at school. I needed like a place to really burn off my energy, and started as all kids with football when we started with like when we had like an opportunity to sign up for a club. So I think I was like 6 or 7 years old when I started playing football, and quite soon after I also joined this swimming club. So I combined swimming and football for the first part of my childhood, and also using the rest of the time out playing football and just being active. And I would say sport has been quite important for my sort of upbringing. It's been an arena where I've been able to feel that I've been having skills and felt strong and felt like good progress, and it's also have taught me a lot.
But did you have, or maybe you still have, the person who was like mentor for you, you know, that type of person who didn't let you to go astray, especially in sport industry?
I've always been quite self-driven in terms of my motivation, and I think also, like, especially when you go into the direction as a triathlete at a young age, it's not because you have people telling you what to do. It's more because you have that inside drive, and it's back then it was I would say an odd direction to take, because it's not something that most kids were doing. So I did it because I had that really drive to be doing sport, and I still feel that today. Like, I'm doing the training, and I'm signing up for races, and I'm having the motivation in order to improve myself, well, because I want to win the races.
But when you came to like big sports, when was first competition in your life?
So the thing is, like, you always take like those tiny steps, or like so like as an example, when I did my first international triathlon in the outside of Zurich in Switzerland, in Zug, as a youth triathlon event. I think it was in 2009, first year when we started up with the youth national team. That felt like a massive event. So I think that, like, first big step is happening quite gradually, and from there it went to junior European Cups, and then you feel that first round, and also like the first time you're winning a junior European Cup feels like super great, and it feels like a big steps in the right direction, and then you take sort of the next step. So it's not like when you go to the Olympics for the first time that you finally think that, oh, this is like you have made it, because you're always like chasing that next step, and then when you're getting into the Olympics, you want to win it, and then you want to go to the next thing. So you always want to, or at least for me, I wanted to go to a bigger stage, to a bigger event, and to a new distance. So when I won the short course Olympics and world title, I also wanted to do the same in long course. So but the first time I was racing in the Olympics was in 2016, and that was maybe the biggest stage at that point.
Do you remember that moment when Walt found out who is Kristian? Like when you felt in your side more attention?
I remember maybe when I went in the breakaway with Alistair Brownlee in the grand final in 2014. But then, then at that point, I've been injured for 9 months. I had a stress fracture in my foot, so I didn't run for 9 months from 2013 to 2014. And then I was like, I guess people didn't look at the Norwegian triathlon, looking at the progress that we had here. So in my mind, I was there trying to win and to get a podium with top 10. But in everyone else's mind, it was more like that guy who was just there for the brief moment of fame when I went in the breakaway with him. So at that race with like 15k to go, I was then riding super aggressively, and we got, I think, almost 80 seconds gap to everyone else, and I was running in third position for the first 3k of the run. And after that, I think people was more aware, but and then the next time was maybe in 2016 when I sort of followed Mario Mola, the fastest runner in the sport at that time, for the first 5k in Yokohama, and I ended up on third position. And that was also like leading up to the Rio Olympics. So I think those two moments were maybe like when people were thinking, okay, in the first race I was racing aggressively, and then in the second race in Yokohama I was maybe going from that being that big guy who was like muscular, but I was still running with the lightest runners in the sport.
But how it felt for you? Like, did you? Is it something what you really wanted, this attention from the people, or you did sport just because you were like enjoy that?
I enjoyed both. Like, I think when you're racing on the biggest stage, you also want to have that. I think with big races, it also comes like with attention as well. So you do want to create that community with like fans and followers who is cheering on you. I think that's a part of the sport, and I enjoyed both of it. So even though you can sort of maybe twist it around to a negative angle, that they're saying like, oh, the big muscular guy, how can he run? He looks like a wrestler, and it's like you can either twist it as in a negative way, or you can think, okay, it's a cool thing. At least they are recognizing the performance that I was putting in and the effort.
What is your goal during competition? Is it to win, or is it maybe to test yourself?
No, it's to win. If I want to test myself, I can do that in training or in the lab, but when I'm turning up to, even from day one when I was racing at the highest level, I wanted to win those races. And of course, when you are turning up to a like a World Series race as a junior, it's maybe just in your mind that you have a chance to win the race, but in reality, it's you have a really slim chance. Since day one, I've been sort of dreaming about being able to grab that finish line tape, because for me that's like the moment of the victory. When you're like crossing the finish line, I can grab that victory tape.
Tell us more about your like Kristian's day, like your routine.
Yeah.
When you wake up, what do you do? How many times you eat, and etc.
Yeah, so a typical day is waking up 6:45, having I didn't need coffee in the morning, so having like a big cup of coffee and some bread, and then I'm walking down to the pool, being at the pool maybe 7:35, 7:40, doing some stretching, and then jumping in the pool. After the swimmers, or the pure swimmers, have been swimming from 6 to 8, so we jump in 8 o'clock, so have a little bit more space for ourselves, and then swimming with the triathletes for like 4K, 4.5K, and then heading back home, having a little bit more to eat, maybe some more bread, and then heading out for either outside or on the turbo for 2 hours, and then finishing off with an hour, 90 minutes running, and then it's dinner time. So it's yeah, very typically 3 sessions a day, sometimes only 2 sessions, and yeah, just trying to collect the hours, especially now in the winter times. So typically over a week, it can be like from 27 to 33, 34 hours a week of training. So yeah, plenty of sessions, and maybe 2 sessions a week on the run that is hard, and 2 sessions on the bike that is with intensity, and 2 hard sessions in the pool as well. And then the rest of them is more like trying to both get the volume in, but also to get ready for the next key session.
But is it easy for you to follow all the time this routine, right? Sometimes maybe there is moments when you like...
Yeah, like especially with when it's pissing down and it's cold and it's windy, then it can feel a little bit longer to get out of the door and to start running. But then, yeah, it's just important to have like a good routine of having the clothes ready that you're putting on for the run, and having like a good warm tights as an example, so you're feeling warm even though it's pissing down. So having good equipment for training outside in the weather, I think it's important. And then also just telling yourself that it's not an option to go out, like it's something you're going to do no matter what. And as long as you're like starting and after 5 or 10 minutes, it's getting comfortable, almost like you're. It doesn't feel that bad. It's worse when you're sitting home and you're warm and dry, and you know that you will have to go out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's better to do this step. But what helped you to be better, like to grow all the time? Because I think it's possible when you, for example, achieve something, what you really wanted, and then you like, yeah, thank you, enough. Or maybe something, what all the time like give you these feelings that you want to move?
I think, like for me, I feel if I've done bad races, like poor performances, they almost give me more motivation than having won a race. So like 2024, I've been a garbage season, I would say, for me. I failed in both in the Olympics in Paris and in Kona. So those races is giving me a lot of motivation to keep going and to reflect on everything I've done in order to get back on track and win races. And when I win races, of course, I enjoy the moment, especially the moment where it's like the critical moment of the race. Like if you are sprinting away from a guy, and just at that moment when the elastic band is about, or when the elastic band is snapping, and you realize that, okay, this is, now I have the win in my pockets, and then like completing the race and then having the last 200 meters on the blue carpet or the finish line, that's like a beautiful feeling. But then when I've won the races, then and then when I'm also in good shape, then I want to just keep going and get like another win and another win. So just keep utilizing that great shape.
During competitions and all of this, right? It's not something what, of course, you enjoy that, but there is pain. How do you deal with that? It's like I can understand that this is specific mental battle during this time when you do that. How you support yourself? Maybe you talk with yourself, or what exactly you use?
Or yeah, like in the roughest part of the race, it's or you can have different stages. Like just standing on the start line, waiting to start can be like a nerve-wracking moment, because like you know that you have like a long day ahead. Like if you're doing an Ironman, it's almost 8 hours of racing ahead, and you know no matter if you're having a good day or bad day, it's going to be tough no matter what. So that can be like a little bit feeling a little bit in the stomach that okay, but also you're just looking forward to get started, because then you know that the nerves in one way is disappearing and you're just having to keep working. And then during the race, you're just trying in one way. You need to sort of feel the pain of being aware of how much does it hurt, because if you are pushing too hard too early, you will hit the wall, and then you will be having, like, you'll be forced to almost slow down, and because it's because then you're pacing yourself quite badly. So you have to be listening to both how painful it is, what's your heart rate, how's the power, how's the nutrition, and then by the end of the race, typically when you're having like 20k left of the marathon, you've been out racing for maybe 6 hours or so, then it's hurting for everyone. But then you just need to tell yourself, like, in one way, you're breaking down the last part. You, instead of thinking like 20k left, you're thinking maybe 1k at a time in the beginning, and then you're breaking that into 500 meters at a time, and then because mentally you can't really deal with 60 seconds of pain or 60 minutes of pain. You have to do 60 seconds at a time instead. And yeah, you're learning like those techniques and just breaking it down, and in one way feeling it, and also in another way ignoring the pain.
But you learning this due to experience, or it's like coach teach, for example, maybe share advices and etc.?
I think it's for me it's been self-learned in terms of like how I'm dealing with that in races, because you're also using the same technique in training, and also in order to get through the 30 plus hours of training you're doing like weekly on training camp, you're naturally learning those methods in order to get through it, and then you're bringing that back into a racing scenario.
Mm-hmm. You said something already about Paris, and let's talk about that. It's Summer Olympics in Paris 2024. You were 12th in men's triathlon, and I watched podcast, The Norwegian Method, and I heard your phrase like, I tried to get over the disappointment from Paris. Then later I read the article with your coach, where it's possible to understand that everything was not as you guys planned. So tell more about that. What exactly like disappointed you?
Yeah, so the goal with going into Paris was to defend the title from Tokyo and to win again, and also to showcase that it was possible to go from short course and over to the Ironman distance and then back again into short course. So again, that's like if you compare it to running, it's like running a 5k or 10k on the track, and then you go to marathon, and then the next year go back again to the track for 5k or 10k. So it's not common to switch distances like this, but that was the project going into Paris. And I think the last year and a half when I came back into short course, I was always like 50, 60 seconds too slow on the run, and we weren't able to bridge that gap going into Paris. And it was a huge disappointment to only get 12th. For me, I was going into the games not just to participate, but to get a medal, and ideally the gold medal. So it was I was far away from being able to be in that shape, and that was disappointing.
But how do you handle the situations when, for example, you didn't get what you wanted?
Then the mind is going, like you're reflecting on every decisions we took the year and a half in advance, like when it comes to training, like location we've been, like different altitude camps, how high did we go, how many times did we go, the duration of those camps, and maybe we should have done less, different structure on the camps. Maybe we should have prioritized the training and intensity a little bit differently. Maybe we should have done the more like different change of the training weeks. And like the mind is just going and trying to understand where did it go wrong. And you're putting like writing down like everything you think you could have done differently, and then unfortunately in the Olympics you only have one chance, and there's like 4 years until the next time. So trying to learn from what potentially could have changed the outcome, and trying to learn from the mistakes.
What is next competition what you're preparing, yeah.
Yeah, so now in 2025 it's the Ironman season or the Ironman Pro Series with the World Championship in Nice. That's the big goal. So the plan now is to do Ironman in 25 and maybe in 26, and then I might come back again for short course in 28, or I might continue with long course. I haven't decided that yet. But typically the Ironman World Championship is in Kona every year in Hawaii. But since the pandemic came, they changed it a bit back and forth. But now the rumors is that it's going back again to Kona every year from after next year. So it's quite motivating to train for Nice now, as it's a great course and I love the atmosphere in Nice, and it might be the last opportunity to win a world title there.
Mm-hmm. So you're gonna try to do your best now, as I understand.
Yep. Yes. So now we are, as it's a quite technical bike course, especially it's like a big climb on the bike, and it's a little bit like more twisty turns compared to how it is in Hawaii. So we will travel now to Nice in January for a month in order to be able to get as much time in the course and sort of getting an understanding of what's important in that bike course. How steep is the hill? Like, one thing is to look at the climb in on a GPS file. Another thing is to get a feeling of how steep is it.
Your sports friend Gustav Eden, it's possible to see a lot of different also content and etc. that you guys also take part in competitions together. What do you have in common with him, and which role he plays in your life? Tell us more.
Yeah, I think we have a lot in common. We're basically having the same lifestyle. Of course, there is some differences, and is having a little bit different hobbies than what I'm having. He's more into photograph, like doing taking pictures himself, and he's maybe also having a little bit more needs to disconnect from the sport than what I'm having. But on a daily basis, we're having the same sort of lifestyle. We are swimming, biking and running, and we're traveling the world. And I feel quite lucky to be able to live so close to a guy who is at the same level, or more or less the same level. And we have definitely been pushing each other in order to be where we are today. And it's been great to be able to share this journey with someone that closely for the last 10-15 years. And he's making me, or like he's sort of pushing me to stay on my toes every day in order to get where I want to be, and I'm trying to motivate him as well to do the right decisions and taking learnings from each other in order to get where we need to be.
Yeah, I think it's pretty important to have the person who understands you and who has the same direction as you.
Yeah, and it also makes it feels a bit more norm, or like it's normalizing the lifestyle we're having, because if you could look from the outside, and it can look quite extreme, that it's very locked in and it's just swim, bike and run, and it's training and it's eating and sleeping. But when the closest people around you is doing the same, it feels a little bit more normal, and it doesn't feel as extreme, because I think sometimes you want to normalize what we're doing.
Yeah. But if we started to talk about people, who is the most important person in your life?
It's difficult to pinpoint one single person, but I've been lucky to have a lot of great athletes around me and coaches that have been following me up over the last 20 years. So been able to learn a lot from all the coaches that I've been working with throughout my career. And I think maybe the coaches that I've been working with have been the one that's been defining my career the most, and been letting me they've been helping me to get where I am today.
But if we talk about your future, how do you imagine it, for example, in 15 years?
In 15 years, I guess I would have retired. I think I can be in the sport for another 5, maximum 10 years. But in 15 years, I will hopefully be retired from endurance sport. Maybe I will be. I think I will still be active. I think I will be then moving more into all kinds of sport like skiing, fishing, kayaking, being in the nature, but less into. I guess I will not go daily to the pool. That's like I'll swim, I can run. That's maybe the one most triathlete is taking away. Do you want to put on a jacket or it's okay?
I can't. I like try. I talk with myself. Stop. But I'm shaking.
Sure, you just put on a jacket. So you don't want to say anything about the jackets?
I want to say something about jackets because it's going to be super weird. It's just super cold.
Yeah, the heaters stopped working like 30 minutes ago, and then I guess it's 8-9 degrees here, so it was a bit chilly. And
crazy for me. I just shake and I can't control myself. And I really plan that I'm gonna handle this, but I see that it's pretty hard. Okay, but we were talking about future.
Yeah.
Did you finish?
Yeah, so I haven't planned what I will do in 15 years, but hopefully be still racing actively for another 5 or maybe 10 years, and then enjoy the sport as long as it's fun, as long as it's what I enjoy doing.
Now I would like to discuss something. I really couldn't help but to ask you about something what people discuss. This is your house which you just bought lately, and it was everywhere in use. Of course, I checked that, and I know that it cost around 18 millions of crowns. What is pretty expensive with the view to Bergen. So I need exclusivity. So tell me, like, how it happened, why exactly that house, and why exactly that region of the Bergen, and why such expensive?
Well, first of all, I didn't call in to tell them that I bought it. I guess they have like a system that it pops up that people are buying it. So yeah, they called me and asked. I felt first I was looking at houses both in Bergen and in Andorra and in Spain and in France. So I wasn't sure where I wanted to have my next base. Either combining it with like a house in Bergen and in Spain, but then so I first was looking at basically stuff everywhere, and then I thought maybe finding a new place in Bergen, a little bit closer to downtown, a little bit better view, a little bit more direction towards north of the view, so I can see a little bit more the harbor, it all happened quite quickly, actually. Maybe within like 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow, such fast.
And I was looking through Finn and found like some different houses, and went to the open house, had a look, and in the beginning I thought that if it goes below the ask price, I would be keen, and but when I first went there, I felt like the view was pretty nice and better than on the pictures, and it just felt like a place I wanted to maybe not live now, but maybe in 10 years' time, and then in 10 years it would be even more expensive. So I thought if I wanted in 10 years, it would be worth putting in a bid now in order to see if I can get it now. So we traveled then to Uzbekistan for like a big training camp, and as we were there, the bidding process started, and I got it, and in the beginning afterwards, I was regretting it. I was thinking like, why no, why did I? It's going to be such a hassle to move around and to start that process when I get back home from Hawaii, spending the whole November on moving stuff. And so in the beginning, after I put in the bid, I was regretting it for a while. And I wish I could do like, delete button and then go back. But when I then took over the house, I felt quite satisfied again and pleased with the decision. And now I'm pleased, happy that I moved place. And I feel the location is nice and it's far enough from downtown that I'm not feeling like I'm living down there, like in the city, but it's also close enough that I can walk down.
Your home is in Bergen. So because how it feels for you, because you travel so much, right? It's not that you all the time like stay here and use time in your house and etc. You all the time travel and it's not stable.
Yeah. The strange thing is that the feeling now to come back to Bergen is a little bit the feeling I had before when I was traveling away from Bergen. So if you are staying here for most part of the time and then you take 3 weeks travel to Gran Canaria, then you're having this holiday feeling when you're traveling away and it's like nice to get away. But now it's a little bit reversed. Like it's nice when I'm back home and it's nice when I'm here for a month or 6 weeks and it's like that reversed feeling.
But if we're gonna look to the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
More or less, how long you usually spend in Bergen, for example?
The year that I was the most away, I think, was in 2021. Then I was 6 weeks in Bergen. Yeah, and it was similar in 2022. So at this time now, I've been 2 months or almost 2 months at home, and I'm having 1 more month, and that's the longest I've been in Bergen in probably 5 years. And then the traveling will start again. So it's a lot of traveling, typically 200, 250 days a year. So yeah, a lot of traveling.
My last question, what I'm gonna ask like all my guests, this is, what is meaning of the life in your opinion?
Have fun, live the life, or what, like they say, like instead of trying to survive it, you have to live it, or like take the chances and opportunities that you can do, and live in the moment. Like it's always easy to think what you're doing in the future, but actually enjoying the time that you are living now. And it's a bit like when I'm out traveling, instead of thinking that next week I will be in Hawaii, then instead of thinking about where I'll be next week, I will rather appreciate where I'm at the moment.
Is it something what you like learn to do, or you were always like that?
I think it's just naturally, it's easy to think about what you will do in the future and look forward to that, but I try to just twist it around and appreciate where I am currently. And then yes, it would be nice to go to another place next month, but for now it's it's nice to be in Bergen, having 3 months at home and enjoying that.
So that's it. Honestly, I don't have any more questions. I was super grateful for all your answers, for everything what you shared with us. And thank you very much, Kristian.
Thank you very, very much, and thank you for having me on your show as the first guest.
Yes, I think it's an amazing beginning of the interview show.
Thank you.